twice as much, and that sounds crazy, but it has been at 65 on centre court during the last 8 days. But it's going to be Spain who get us underway, and it is Gavira who starts.
Van Garderen ripping the ball cross court. His best finish, a 17th in Rio de Janeiro early on in this season. Still learning the ropes. Every single match that we see seems to improve. And he is going to be quite the player at just 27 years of age. And, you know, he brings hope to indoor players that maybe are introduced to the game of beach volleyball a little later, because his process of switching over has really been quick and seamless. And there's obviously so much parallels between indoor and beach. But on the beach, you have to be well-rounded as he hits that ball a little long. You can't have a weakness. You got to be able to set. You got to be able to block at times, play defense, serve the ball tough, set your partner, come with an offensive varied attack. And if you have a weakness, it will be exploited by your opponent.
So, and Garderen is going to be targeted, you feel, just purely, if nothing else, because of his height. I mean, he's still a tall boy, but nowhere near as mountainous as his teammates Varenhorst.
Yeah, Van Garderen is listed at 6'7". It's just wild. You're seeing some of the defenders who long ago were so much shorter. There's a good control by Spain.
Linea, hear that a lot from the Spanish pair, but it's a good block. And he finally gets the better, does Herrera.
Yeah, what I was saying about the defenders. Back in the day, you know, they're pretty short, 6'2", 6 feet. Now you're seeing a lot of defenders, 6'6", 6'7". Yeah, the Cuban duo, they have a 6'7". Diaz in the backcourt. Casey Patterson, he's about 6'6", playing in the backcourt. We saw Andre Loyola Stein, who the majority, he's starting to play behind Ivandro's block. So as the game evolves, the players evolving as well. It's going to be an interesting morning for Van Garderen. He's going to get plenty of serves going his way. It seems to be the strategy of choice right now for Spain. He hasn't flinched yet, though.
No, he hasn't. It was a strategy of choice in the round of last 16 by Diaz and Gonzalez of Cuba.
And there it is. There is the first flinch from Van Garderen. An unforced error, roll shot just out of bounds. And that will give Spain the lead. Look at that, nice control. It just comes off the hand. A little harder than expected and lands just out of bounds.
Herrera serves again. And Garderen, who comes up with the subtle shot this time.
I mentioned at the top of the show that Christian Varenhorst used to play with Reinder Numador, who has since retired. Had to look for a new partner, and just like Reinder Numador, who played indoor volleyball, he picked up Van Garderen.
There's a big block. Yeah, and the reason they've been together for such a short time is Van Garderen was still under contract with his club in Italy, so he couldn't come and play. They eventually finished the season. They won a European satellite event in Kharkiv in Ukraine, and he's got to go back to the indoor, in fact, after this tournament. He said if he wins a medal here, there's every chance he'll continue playing beach. Oh, good work. Any part of the body works to keep the ball alive. and they're going to have to work hard to get past Varenhorst. Oh, yes.
One of the most exciting rallies that you will ever see. Look at this cover. There it is. Adrian Gavira using his soccer skills, kicking that ball up in cover. And Charlie, as you mentioned, any part of the body can be used in beach volleyball. You don't see that very often. The great cover and the persistence by Spain ends up winning them the point. There's a great look at it. Fully intended. And the amazing thing is he did it with control. Varenhorst thought the play was over.
Well, such is the sport these days. It's evolved. The net's almost seen as an extra player, doesn't it? But not counting as a touch. You can play it into the net to give your partner time to then make the set.
Yeah, we've seen that strategy defensively many times. Players shooting the ball into the net, and then it kind of hangs there for a second. And so that's kind of what I'm talking about, that evolution of the game. It's kind of cool to see new things happening and strategies starting to change.
Here's a chance because the set is close to the net. There's a net fault from Spain. We saw the Mexicans use their head the ball, didn't we, in the match the other day?
We've seen a little bit of everything. We've seen the header, we've seen the chester. Guto loves to do that. We also saw Jefferson from Qatar using that chester move. And now we've seen the cover with a foot. You expect nothing less from a world championship.
No touch. 8-5.
Well, the team with all the ball control, Spain making a few errors, and with Christian Varenhorst controlling the net, things have changed. That ball is out as well, and
Challenge.
The Netherlands are going to go up 9-5, but Spain thinks there's a touch on the block. They motion for that challenge. Remember, every team gets 2 challenges per set. If they are correct, you retain your challenges.
Well, they're challenging in out, not touch.
That's a great call right there. They're challenging that ball being inbounds, which I don't really think it was that close.
No, from our replay, it didn't seem close, but that's not Hawkeye. That's not the definitive angle that is used.
Yeah, but you have to be definitive on what your challenge is. And the only reason I thought it was block touch is because that ball looked like it was so far out. But no, look at that. It just clips. It almost touches the line on the way out, just brushing it. We haven't seen that on the Hawkeye replay system as of yet. What a great call and a great challenge.
And that's why we use Hawkeye as a definitive camera angle to make these calls.
Hawkeye's got 16 cameras around the court, running at 200 frames per second. So it doesn't miss anything.
And that's important because they've got it back to a point now. And on small things can momentum change. That good challenge, and they're suddenly level at 8-all. We thought it might be 9-5, but oh no, 8-all.
Quick turnaround from Spain. Pablo Herrera just had that ace serve, and now he puts it in the top of the net. Pablo Herrera, special player. I mentioned a silver medal way back in 2004, 13 years ago, and he's still a top athlete out here as he shows it right there with a rip cross court. though. At 8-5, looked like things were going to maybe get out of hand in favor of the Netherlands, and Spain has tied it at 9.
Netherlands back in front.
Big hit that time by Christian Varenhorst. And he's trying to pull his partner Van Garderen, who lacks experience, but not in effort and hustle and skill, learning the game very quickly. Oh, look at the read by Van Garderen.
Good blocking. Still alive for the Dutch. Still there. That's Gavira with the move in the backcourt. Van Garderen, good block, but it lands out.
Van Garderen showing some skill. During that play, he actually set the ball with one hand, kind of looked like a hit set to his partner, went in perfect position. Here's the block at the end that ends up just out of bounds. But how about Martin Van Garderen everywhere on the court?
And at the technical timeout, it is the Dutch who have the lead by a solitary point, 11-10. And well, it's as close as we thought it might be. Okay, I think we're going to drop into the virtual Red Bull Arena for some technical timeout stats, and here they are. The Dutch service placement.
Well, the Dutch opting to serve in the middle of the court and favoring Pablo Herrera. No aces as of yet for the Dutch, but trying to position, score off Herrera with Varenhorst up at the net. And so far, Herrera has been strong, battling to get back into this one after trailing 8-5. Varenhorst versus Herrera going off that left hand. And it's been a pretty equal battle. The Netherlands tried to pull away, but they just couldn't pull it off. Spain had other plans.
So the ball is with Herrera. Herrera and Gavira look very similar. They're same height, same sort of build. Gavira has a black band on his left arm.
They are maybe the most challenging team to identify, as that ball at 86 kilometers per hour ends up out of bounds. But you're right, Herrera and Gavira really are challenging for the fans as well as us in the commentary booth to distinguish between that left band, as you mentioned, Charlie, on the left arm, the black band on Gavira. That's basically the only distinguishing factor.
Especially when they're down on their knees, resting on their knees. But here we go. It's going to be Gavira.
You know, maybe that's a strategic thing, and the opponent doesn't know who's hitting when. I've seen twins do that, trying to fool the opposition.
Good blocking. 12-all. Subtly changed the band over in a timeout.
And Pablo Herrera getting in on the blocking action. There's the signals. 2 indicates your blocking angle, 1 indicates you're blocking down the line. And right there, Herrera blocks line, tries to funnel it cross court to Gavira, but the hit is just too strong.
Will each team have a difference? Because sometimes you see a number of signs coming one way. Will they'll have a preset routine of to which one is the correct one? For example, if you see a 1 finger, then a 2, maybe then a 1 again. sometimes you see the front player giving multiple signals to the defender.
Yeah, usually the right hand would correspond to the player on that player's right in front of them across the net, and the left hand would correspond to the player to their left, and each hand represents the call on that specific player. And there's kind of some universal calls, like I say, line and angle, but each team creates their own communication, and so that no one can track what they're actually doing.
Serve to Herrera. Gavira with the set. The block goes onto the antenna and out.
To contrast these two teams, Herrera and Gavira, playing together since way back in 2009. This is their 91st FIVB Beach Volleyball World Tour tournament together. And then you look on the other side of the net, Van Garderen and Varenhorst, this is just their 4th FIVB event together. And Christian Varenhorst ripping that ball straight down the line.
Serve from Van Garderen to Gavira. He rolls it over the attempted block. 15-all.
Gavira and Pablo Herrera, so much experience trying to go to the well here and pull from that experience to make things happen. Their best finish, a 5th in the World Championships in 2011 and in 2013.
They've never won a set in the quarterfinals. In their 3 previous appearances, they've lost every quarterfinal 2-0.
So I see there, Charlie, 2009, also a 5th place finish for this team from Spain. And with shots like that, they would love to advance to the semifinal. They will equal that 5th, guaranteed being here in the quarterfinals. But can they make an improvement?
Service error. Gives the advantage back to the Dutch. Good block. What a crucial block. 18-16 now.
Christian Varenhorst up big on the block. That's his 2nd block of the match so far for Pablo Herrera and Adrian Gavira. They have 1 block, so not a lot of blocking going on in this first set. You'd expect a little more. Varenhorst, that's his game. And right there, Pablo Herrera acting as if Varenhorst not even at the net, ripping that ball cross court. Wow. You know, when you have that experience, you've been to this situation many times before, you know how important it is to get a little bit of an edge here at the business end of this set. This is where it gets crucial. You got to step up.
That's a big serve. Herrera is kept alive. But the advantage with the Dutch. And it just grows so big, Varenhorst. I mean, he's big anyway when he's standing, but when he jumps, he's just a giant.
This ball hangs into the net, and then Gavira oversets it. A huge mistake. And that set right there Pablo Herrera did not like it after that rally. He went over to the referee and he argued a bit. And so maybe Spain a little bit rattled as they call a timeout, and they'll head to the rest area. So giving up a few points in a row and not happy.
I think he was maybe suggesting there might have been a double touch with the...
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, a double contact of the set. He wanted the set to be called, and there's a lot of gamesmanship that goes along with that. You put some pressure on the referee, and maybe on the next play, he'll call it in your favor. There's a great look, the reflection out of the glasses, kind of looking into the view from the players. Ball moving so quickly out on center court. You know, throughout this World Championships, there you see 8 successful attacks and 1 block for Herrera. We've seen a lot of players take it off the face, and it happens to the best of them. Netherlands all of a sudden up 2.
Up 2 and 2 points away from the first set. It's Varenhorst serving at 19-17. Must-win point, but Van Garderen is there. But advantage back to Spain. Herrera with the set. Gavira rolls onto the line. That was as tight can be. He used every millimeter of court here.
That's that experience, knowing where the court is at all times, knowing your distance from the sideline, and then being able to execute when it counts.
Got to try and win this point if they can. Can you believe it? Varenhorst does really well, but advantage with Spain, and they do win the point, and they've leveled it up at 19 all. Varenhorst just checking that Herrera is okay, and it's a good timeout call by Spain. They've won the 2 points off the back of it.
That's that veteran experience kicking in. Tough serving has got them to here.
They're still behind on the scoreboard though, because if the Dutch side out.
Oh, wow. We talked about taking it off the face. A little duck and cover by Gavira in the backcourt. And Garderen absolutely lit that ball up down the line. Check this out. Self-preservation in the backcourt for Adrian Gavira. He almost got that up and in the court.
First set point then for the Dutch as we have another look at it. 83 Ks, that's what, 50 miles an hour there or thereabouts. Probably a little bit over. Not to worry. Now the cloggers are in town. Linea. First set point saved. But they're going to be behind on the scoreboard, as I mentioned. They still need 2 points on serve. Again, and Garderen, the recipient, there's the block. Oh, what a time to come up with the block. And now they're in front on the scoreboard, 21-20.
Could never count out this team from Spain. They're very consistent, and right now, they're living on emotion, trying to get the crowd involved. Adrian Gavira doing everything possible. He knows how important it is to win this first set in a quarterfinal.
Herrera with the serve, it drops on Van Garderen. It's an overset, here's a chance, and they've taken it! Spain come from behind, from 17-19 down to win the first set 22-20, and that's the first time they've won a set in the quarterfinals of the World Championship, and this is their 4th appearance at this stage.
So awesome to have the ability to stay focused and come back when you're facing Christian Varenhorst in your face. Spain really stepping up to the plate right here. and a crucial victory, a breakthrough of sorts for them to win a set right here. Now 1 set away from their best finish in a world championship. Can they break through? 3 times they finished in 5th place in the world championship. They'd love to get a victory here and get to the medal rounds.
Well, you just know you've got 2 more matches coming and you will play for a medal, win or lose that first game. Here's the serve placement for you during that first set for Spain, and I don't think there's any great surprise here.
Van Garderen getting just about every single serve going his way. He played extremely well. I think he played well enough to win the set. It was just a couple of errors down the line that did not go the way of the Netherlands. And so they're gonna have to recover really quick, and hopefully for the Netherlands, Spain doesn't get this crowd behind them. It's filling up quick here on day number 9 of the FIVB Beach Volleyball World Championships.
So here we go, set 2. And Garderen gets us underway, and it's a service error. That's better from Van Garderen. Van Garderen playing so well under so much pressure, but maybe he's got nothing to lose, has he? Whether he plays exceptionally well or not, nothing's expected of him because he's only just come to the game. But he really has taken to it. Good finish from Herrera.
Yeah, you're almost playing with the house's money in Vegas, you know. He's already overachieved here at the World Championships. Didn't have a ton of expectations, and how could you, going up against guys that have played the beach game for an entire lifetime, and Van Garderen being so new to the game has basically shown the world that he can compete at this level on the beach. It may be a difficult decision for him when he goes back and plays indoor professionally. The big thing is there's a lot of guaranteed money indoor volleyball, where on the beach you got to earn that money every single weekend. So I'm sure that'll be a factor, but it's got to be nice playing in this $1 million prize money World Championships here in 2017.
Gavira again to Van Garderen. Just takes the line. That was close.
Cloud cover you see in the distance, definitely welcome. This has got to be the most mild day that we have had in the 9 days of the World Championship competition. It has been stifling hot, some days over 60 degrees Celsius down on the sand. And right now the action heating up on the court. This is going to be a back and forth battle, just as we saw in set number 1.
Both sides coming up with partial blocks. That last one from the Dutch rolling along the net and dropping out. That one from Spain dropping onto their side of the net. So they're close, but not quite being able to make the block stick. That was a very close set to the net, and Varenhorst almost taking full advantage.
Both the Spaniards have unbelievable court vision. They have very quick arm swings, and they have that ability to continue to vary their speeds to keep the opposition guessing. They've been playing together since 2009.
It's going to drop in there.
I think the mental side of the game, Van Garderen's really handled well. When you come out here and you're new and all of a sudden you're going to get every single serve because you're playing against a guy next to you who's got more experience and finished second in the last World Championships. Mentally, he has been on point the entire tournament.
Herrera going up and down the side of the block. Good elevation from the Spaniard. Cross court from Van Garderen. 6-5.
It's funny when Van Garderen got on the tour, won his first 2 matches, then lost the next 6 in a row, and then went on a streak to win 4 in a row. So a little ups and downs. That's to be expected when you get out on the court, but it has been a solid week for Van Garderen and Christian Varenhorst. They lost the first pool play match against Ivandro and Andre Loyola, but ever since they have been on fire, taking down Cuba in 3 sets, 15-13, Diaz and Gonzalez just yesterday.
You mentioned that game against Brazil. They had match points in that one as well, didn't they? Here on centre court.
Yeah, in the second set in that matchup against Brazil. And there's a rip. That's one of the higher speeds we've seen. 89.88 kilometers per hour right there by Varenhorst. But they could have been undefeated. They did have match point against Ivandro in Andre Loyola. But that's so early in the tournament. And that's what pool play is for. Pool play, you really want to get a feel for your game, try to work out the kinks. And then you want to be ready to go when knockout play begins, and it began for them. Almost 2 tournaments in one this World Championships. The pool play version and then the knockout round version. And you better have things worked out for the knockout rounds or you're going to go home early, which we saw a lot of teams exit.
Garderen goes cross court, finds the angle, and just like the first set, this one desperately tight.
So many matches that we've seen have gone 3 sets. Remember, this first 2 sets to 21, switch on 7. The third set, a quick one to 15 points. And now so late in the draw, so deep in the tournament here in the quarterfinals, and so much parity, it can happen quite often, that third set tiebreaker.
Big serve from Herrera. Cross court, well read by Herrera. Now, can he finish it off to give Spain the edge? No, he can't. Van Garderen gets the right hand up, and then he gets to work with his right hand again, this time in the swing. And he finds unguarded sand. 9-8.
Van Garderen really has command with that right hand. When the ball's hit at him in a defensive stance, he kind of controls it every time. It's like a walk in the park. It makes it look so easy controlling the ball. A lot of people would poke it in that position. He does it with an open hand to control it. It's pretty amazing.
That's a good get. Oh, Van Garderen hits the net. And there's some daylight, 10-8.
Little trickler at the net. The Spaniards almost get to the ball right there, but to no avail. That ball ends up another point for the Netherlands.
Good power. Service error. Makes it 11-9, the Netherlands, who were in front for most of that first set. Couldn't bring it home. And, they've been in front for most of this second set, and as we head to the technical timeout, the score is the same as set one, 11-10 to the Netherlands, and it's all about who can seize their moment here in this second quarter-final on the penultimate day of action of these FIVB Beach Volleyball World Championships. Okay, let's drop into the virtual Red Bull Arena to have a look at some stats, Dane.
Well, this is the Netherlands spike placement, where they are targeting on the court, and really great winners on the lines. Staying away from the meat of the court, although you do see those 4 yellow balls in the middle, they prefer to go to the sidelines. So those are the vulnerable areas in a volleyball court. Both sidelines, down the middle. The Netherlands, so far, pretty balanced.
So, a very short break, and they're back out on the sand. Herrera will serve. There's the energy being burnt up by the defensive players.
Yeah, those you see jumps. These are new stats. There is actually a body sensor in each player's jersey, and that calorie expenditure is calculated by number of jumps and the actual distance that the player's moving around the court. So fascinating, the technology here at the World Championships to monitor how much energy expenditure is happening by the players.
Good blocking. 13-10 now to the Netherlands.
Christian Varenhorst really making it happen. 3 stuff blocks on the day and trying to get a little separation right here. We saw them kind of pull away about the same time in the first set, but as we have learned, Spain is not going anywhere.
Good work from Varenhorst. Can he finish it off? Oh. The challenge. I think, was that 4 touches because it came back off the net?
So we're going to have a challenge here.
Challenge by Team Spain for block touch.
So the correct way is to challenge block touch. They're saying that they never touch the ball at the net, therefore there would be too many contacts on the side of the Netherlands. You have to stop the play. You can't wait till the rally's over to challenge a situation like that. So if the rally had gone on even longer, here it is. Is there any touch? Yes, right there. There is a touch on the net. So once Hawkeye sees that, once Hawkeye sees it and not a game camera, we'll get a definitive look. Remember, the Hawkeye cameras have 200 frames per second, so they don't really miss anything. But I believe there was a touch on this play, therefore it was legal. Right there is the touch. And so the Netherlands played it right, and they will win the point. There it is. It's official. Touch, and therefore the Netherlands should score.
Yeah, 1 challenge remaining, so
Come on.
that should,
Come on.
they should make it. Herrera.
No, I want to see.
Well, he wants to,
After the game, come on.
but he's gone upstairs.
I think he's actually still arguing. I think he saw it on the big screen, and sometimes it's hard for the players to see in the arena up at the screen. They might not have quite the view, and they're always invited to come and look at it after the match. But if he does look at it, he will see that there was an obvious touch. So referees doing a great job right there on explaining everything.
So you talked about the jumps and where we pick up the information from. Just behind the number 2 there, there's a little sort of GPS box that sends off all sorts of data from the players to a computer, and that's where we get all our information from in terms of distance run and the calories burnt, that sort of thing. And Spain perhaps just a little rattled here.
Not a lot going the way of Spain, and that's why maybe a little frustration. But they're going to have to settle down. That's always a big issue, keeping your focus even if you don't like the calls.
Well, if any pair can, it would be this pair, the Spanish pair, as they are the most experienced pair on the tour at the moment. Varenhorst diving forward, keeps it alive, and then he comes up with the error. Oh, it's off the block, in fact.
Net violation for Spain. Big error right there, because that could have got things going. Here's the hit. No touch, but a net violation on the blocker, and you see the hands on the hips of Gavira. Things just not going the way for Spain here in this second set. Fortunately for them, they won the first set and may have enough time to recover.
And that's the thing, isn't it? When you're up against someone who is putting the ball away as consistently and as well as Varenhorst, you just strain a little bit too much sometimes. Get a little bit too close to the net.
Yeah, that's a fine line. When you're blocking, you want to be as close as you can, but you don't want to push it too much.
Dutch will get a second chance here. He makes no mistake, he's on fire here, is Varenhorst. They need to try and keep the ball away from him. But the problem is Van Garderen's not playing too badly either.
That's the beauty of beach volleyball, and you take it as a challenge. If you're going to serve me, then I'm going to try to put the ball away, make you serve my partner, and then when you're serving him, he wants to do the same. Step up to the challenge so that there's really no definitive way to go.
Well, they need to start making a move here, Spain. Herrera has the ball. There is a miss.
Watch out if you're the Netherlands. Late in set 1 is where the turn happened for Spain, and a surprise there, Christian Varenhorst, the tour's top hitter in 2015, making an error in the clutch.
With a service error. Oh, dearie me. What a time to send that down. Power from Herrera. Now Gavira. As we see that ball come down at 50 mph. So close for Herrera to make the block, but doesn't come off for him.
Well, let's see if the Spaniards have some magic tricks left in their bag. Remember, they were to happen 2 sets in a row.
Big difference was they were serving at 19-17 rather than Receiving, they make it 19-17 now. Now they get the ball.
A lot of power when you're facing Christian Varenhorst. Not a lot of time and not a lot of space, but they find daylight there.
So at least 3 points required here on serve. Oh, what a time to serve an ace. And timeout being called by the Dutch. Well, in the first set, it was Spain that called the timeout late on and came out on 1 point. Now it's the Dutch who've called it, and, well, we've seen this backfire before, calling the timeout when you're in front. They're just trying to take the wind out of the Spanish sails.
That was an absolute rip of a serve by Pablo Herrera right down the middle of the court. It's gutsy to roll the dice like that.
Heimlock zet raak ik echt heel veel aan wat hoog naar de mid achter gaat. Dat is een heimlock zet. Als ze dat nou eens een keer doen en jij voor een trage bal...
Een scherpe bal, vind ik dat je iets meer naar de bal toe moet. Als hij iets verder, als hij iets van de net af is, gaat hij meer hoeken maken, ja? Dan mag je hem groot houden.
Full of ideas for each other. Now,
a lot of seem like positive feedback. I don't speak Dutch, but good instructions going on right there. But we're in a very similar place we were in set number 1. It's experience against the youth of the Netherlands and the inexperience of Van Garderen. This point is crucial. Everything will turn if Spain can tie it up here.
Well, it's either going to be 19 all or 2 set points to the Dutch. And again, it's a big serve. This one is just long. And so it is 2 set points for the Netherlands. The first on the Van Garderen serve. Over at the second time of asking. A net violation there was from Varenhorst. Varenhorst asking if he can challenge.
Yeah, a bit of a collision at the net. Not sure exactly what happened. Here it is. Varenhorst at the net. He goes one way, he nets.
Seems a little unlucky, does he?
Well, there was definitely a net violation on Varenhorst, regardless of what happened underneath. And there's an errant pass.
But it's off the block, and we are going to a third set. We had 3 in the first quarterfinal. We've got 3 in the second quarterfinal, and the Dutch fans are loving that. That is some outfit.
I have no comment.
Fashion police required.
Looks like Spain wins the coin toss and they decide to receive serve.
So confirmation then, we go to a third, 22-20, 19-21. It's a short set, the third set, to 15 side switches every 5 points instead of 7. And, well, you'd expect nothing less on the stats. It's been a desperately close game, but maybe the service area is something Spain will look to try and cut down on.
Well, they're going for it, and that's what they need to do. You have to try to get some points some direction. Well, let's go inside the Red Bull Virtual Arena. The Netherlands serve placement in that second set, really balanced all over. They're getting points off of Herrera. They're getting points off of Gavira as well. The yellow balls, those ace serves. That middle of the court, always vulnerable. So no clear-cut player that the Netherlands are going to. It's rare that you see that much balance on the service.
Van Garderen then gets to the third set underway. And Spain take the first point.
Third set, quick game to 15. You're going to see side switches on increments of 5 points. no technical timeout, 1 timeout per team, and of course, each team has 2 opportunities to challenge if the call doesn't go their way and they believe they've been wronged.
Oh, that's a good read from Gavira. Now, can he finish it off? Goes short and does. So the first big play of the 3rd set comes from Gavira.
A little drop shot here, over the net, cross court. Even the quickness of Van Garderen can't get him to the ball. There you see those varying speeds by the offense of Spain.
So Varenhorst serving at 1-2. And another lovely weighted cross-court cut, this time from Herrera.
Herrera and Gavira are so good. They have the power, but they also have the finesse shot. That one cross-court, Van Garderen, once again, can just look and watch.
Garderen, not sure where that is. That's a huge shot from Varenhorst. Advantage Spain once again. The set isn't that close to the net, but it's off the block and it's 4-1 Spain. And timeout already in this set for the Netherlands.
There's the errant pass. Van Garderen has to lay it out. Doesn't get the ball any further. It actually goes further away from the net, and then the big sky over the net, and Christian Varenhorst stuffs that ball, but it's about 3 feet out of bounds, so he's got to target that back into the court. Beautiful view, or sand cam underneath the net. So hard to block the ball in the right direction when it's being hit at such high velocity at different angles, even if you have an advantage like the 6'11" Varenhorst.
So, the Dutch just trying to steady the ship at the start of this 3rd set. Spain 4-1 up. Will the timeout work? It's going to be Herrera to serve when the play restarts. So here we go then. Herrera will go to Van Garderen, or goes down the middle, and it's a service error.
Netherlands need to start to make a move. Right now, Spain jumping out to a very quick 3rd set. Kcal starting to build for Van Garderen and Gavira. Over 500 Kcals expended each. We mentioned that earlier. That is calculated by not only the number of jumps happening, but the distance the players go around the court. This ball just off the side of the hand of Gavira.
There's been a lot more finesse in this set, hasn't there, from the Spanish?
Absolutely. And it seems to be contagious, right? There it is, another shot down the line. And I've been noticing that this entire World Championship, when things start to elevate, if players are using that power game, it seems to happen on the other side of the net immediately, and everybody elevates the game. When the finesse shots start to be broken out, then everyone kind of downshifts and starts using them. And that's a power play right there by Pablo Herrera. Varenhorst not there in time. Whenever a full-time blocker is on the end line serving and they serve the ball quickly, sometimes they don't give themselves enough time, and it's up to the opponent to make them pay.
Varenhorst with the set. Good finish from Van Garderen. 4-6. The Dutch trail.
First two matches on center court here on day number 9 going the distance. 3 sets. We saw Evandro and Loyola Stein winning in 3, and now looks like Spain got a little bit of the edge, but the Netherlands creeping right back in it. So much parity in the men's division for the first time ever in the history of the World Championships. 8 separate countries represented in the quarterfinals.
Good leave from Van Garderen. Can he find another point on serve? Service error. Restores Spain's 2-point lead. We're approaching the midpoint of this third and final set. Varenhorst the recipient this time. Block.
76-kilometer serve. Looked like it almost got the Netherlands in trouble, but they handle it and tool the block out of bounds. Crowd getting into this one. They, of course, would love to see Clemens Doppler and Alexander Horst, the hometown heroes, possibly pull off their first FIVB victory here in this World Championships.
Yeah, they play the last quarter-final today at, I think it's 5:15. Still got the women's medal matches as the filler between the 4 quarter-finals in the middle of the day.
Filler, that's the main attraction. Gold medal and bronze medal women's matches coming up. I've been waiting for that. That's going to be exciting. Beautiful overhand set right there by the big man, Christian Varenhorst. Such a versatile player. Had a spectacular 2015 World Championship. If you ever get a chance, watch the finals of the World Championships in The Hague. It was an instant classic.
The serve is off target. 9-7, Spain lead. Gavira with the serve to Van Garderen. Van Garderen out wide and goes cross court and it lands in.
Just trading blows right now. That final that I was talking about in 2015, the Netherlands played against Alisson and Bruno, and it came down to the third set. I believe it was 22-20 in the third. Brazil would go on to win that, and of course, Alisson and Bruno, they hold that triple crown, the World Championship, the World Tour finals, and of course the Olympic gold medal, which they earned last year in Rio.
Well, that's going to change tomorrow, of course, because Alisson and Bruno out of the competition. 10-8 Spain. Business end of the third set, business end of the match. Varenhorst within a whisker of getting that back over the net.
Perfect blocking for him. I think maybe he was a little bit early and on his way down when he finally touched that block.
Big serve to Varenhorst. They haven't had much joy from Varenhorst in this set.
Well, looks like Pablo Herrera's shoulder is injured. When he extended right there, possibly something happened. He ripped the jump serve down the middle, and then I think when he went for that ball, he might have jarred something in the shoulder. He was holding his shoulder, and he's popped up and gotten to serve receive, so it must not be that serious.
I think we all know where this one's going. And Garderen picks it up, goes cross court. Good work from Gavira. Can he finish? Yes, he can. He goes back across the net. That's a really clever shot.
We talk about power. That is a perfect example of finesse right there. Spain going with a soft shot right over the block of Christian Varenhorst. Here's a look at it. A little inside out. Rotation on the top of the ball. Van Garderen not even close. And there's the fist pump by Adrian Gavira. He's starting to feel it, just 4 points away.
Gavira with the serve, Van Garderen the recipient, the float serve, and he's there again, but the touch over the net. He needs to keep this alive if he can, wrong side of the antenna.
There's two antennas on either side of the net lined up with the sidelines, and if that ball goes out of bounds, it is ruled out immediately. Here is a great look. Gavira trying to go over, and the ball goes to the right, to the outside of that antenna. Out of bounds point for the Netherlands.
Varenhorst serving at 10-11. The rainbow shot is picked up by Van Garderen. Now, can they make the block? Yes, they can, but still advantage to the Dutch to level things up. They go down the line. It's read by Gavira. Herrera sets. Gavira goes down the line and maintains the buffer. 12-10 Spain. But every point is really hard to win now.
I'll tell you what, I'm so impressed by Van Garderen. Spain tried a rainbow shot over his head, and he didn't flinch, got it up in the air, but Spain with a second and third opportunities, they capitalize when it counts, up 12-10.
A point on serve now would really help the cause. Gavira. Over 2K's run. And Herrera serves in. And Van Garden's there again. Van Garderen will serve. 11-12. Can they level things up here? The Dutch. Chance for Herrera, linea. There's the one-handed touch from Van Garderen. A chance for 12 all. And Gavira, the joust, still alive. The cut from Van Garderen, advantage Spain. Herrera, good block. We're all square.
And there's going to be a challenge. Pablo Herrera, not happy at all. He's challenging a net violation, I believe, on that last play. He might have wanted something earlier, but he's not going to get it. He has to
challenge by Team Spain for net fault.
Yeah, so if it happened during the play earlier, you'd have to actually stop the play to challenge it. You can't wait till the end to challenge something that happened at the beginning of the rally. And what Spain is challenging is this last play. Was there a net violation?
No, we can't see from there. We'll have to wait for Hawkeye to get involved.
You know, real time, it didn't look like it, and the refs have been very accurate.
Here we go.
No fault there. Not at all. So the Spaniards thought that Varenhorst was into the net. Not so.
More hope than expectation, I feel, in that challenge. Oh! Challenge for the touch. No, Varenhorst saying he touched it, is he? No, he's saying he didn't touch it, but they are challenging here, Spain.
This is a challenge for block touch. Did Varenhorst touch it as it went out of bounds? And this is the second challenge for Spain. The first one unsuccessful. So if this one's unsuccessful, they will be out of challenges. You get 2 per set. And if you're correct, you retain those challenges. But if you're incorrect, you lose them. And so this could be a crucial turning point of this match here in the third set.
Well, the Netherlands have left it late, but they're certainly turning the heat up on the Spanish pair. If this challenge is unsuccessful, the Dutch will go in front for the first time in the set.
Oh, that is so close, but no touch by Varenhorst. Spain coming up short on both of their challenges. And if they don't turn things around, they may come up short in winning this match.
Yep, it's going to be a test of their temperament right here. The Dutch hit the front for the first time at 13-12 in the third, the race to 15. Van Garderen with the serve. And a point here for Van Garderen. Wow, that would really put the cat amongst the pigeons in terms of the seeding. But here we go, the float serve goes to Herrera. Gavira with the set. Herrera with the kill, 13-all. Another fantastic crowd here in the Red Bull centre court. Serve from Gavira, goes to Van Garderen. Van Garderen through the block of Herrera, and here is a match point for the Netherlands.
Wouldn't this be something? Christian Varenhorst, Martijn Van Garderen. Van Garderen, 27 years of age, been playing beach volleyball for just over 3 months. A fantastic indoor player, looking to make it to the semifinal.
Varenhorst with the serve. First match point. He's been here before. 2 years ago, he won his quarterfinal to make the semis, went on to win silver in the end. They serve to Gavira. Gavira to keep this match alive, keeps his cool and goes cross court to save the first match point.
Well, it's confirmed we will be in overtime here in this third set. It's a set to 15, but you have to have a 2-point margin, so deadlocked at 14. Whoever can get that 2-point margin first will punch their ticket into the medal rounds.
So, Herrera with the serve. He's not going to hold back, it's a bold serve. He's gone to Varenhorst. Varenhorst winds up, there's the block, but it's out, and it's match point number 2.
Great arm position to get the block. When it comes off the block, the trajectory just a little bit too high and the power too strong, and the ball ends up out of bounds.
Van Garderen then, 15-14. A second opportunity for the Dutch to win this quarterfinal. They go to Herrera this time. Herrera picked up by Van Garderen. This to win it, off the net, and it's in! Can you believe it? The Dutch dream continues, and Spain fall in the quarterfinals for a 4th time in the World Championships. You feel for them, but can you believe it? The novice is in the semi-finals. Utter despair for Spain. but the Dutch hung on in there in the third set. They hit the front at 13-12, and they kept their composure, and they win it at the second time of asking. What a story. What a story for Martin van Garderen. Varenhorst is in the semi-final again, but it's all about the player wearing 1 for the Dutch. What a story this is.
Taking a look at the final point, and everything going the way of the Netherlands on this one. Here's the hit. Look at this dig. Van Garderen cuts it off. He takes a rip. It clips the top of the net and falls in front of the very frustrated team from Spain, who really gave it their all. But the Netherlands, they would not go away. Van Garderen, new to the sport of beach volleyball, and all of a sudden, he finds himself in the medal round at the World Championship.
How about this for a dig? Brilliant. They switched it up in that second match point, going to Herrera rather than Gavira. But that's a huge slice of luck to get on match point number 2. And delight for Varenhorst and Van Garderen. Utter despair for Spain. And the